President Obama has convened a White House meeting between Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates and James Crowley, the Cambridge police sergeant who arrested Gates for being disorderly. Supposedly, they'll all sit down for a beer and conversation.
It'll get you drunk!
Now, that's all well and good, but the president has said,
my hope is that as a consequence of this event, this ends up being what's called a teachable moment.
But what are we supposed to learn? Since his open-mouth insert-foot comments last week, Obama's backpedaled away from the original position that Sergeant Crowley's actions represented the stupidity of the Cambridge Police Department. But what about this teachable moment thing?
There is a long history in this country of African Americans and Latinos being stopped by law enforcement disproportionately. And that's just a fact.
It is clear that Obama hasn't rethought his other equally boneheaded statements about the prevalence of racial profiling directed at Black and Latino men. In fact, Obama amplified these comments, saying,
the more that we're working with local law enforcement to improve policing techniques so that we're eliminating potential bias, the safer everybody's going to be.
Huh? Obama made these statements right after acknowledging that Sergeant Crowley had acted appropriately. Now, am I the only one confused here, or is the president being transparently disingenuous? My years of experience as a left activist lead me to believe that something else is afoot with Obama identifying Gates' arrest as a teachable moment. Now recast as a political moderate, it is critical to remember that Obama was assessed as the most liberal politician on the floor of the Senate in 2007. His political worldview is rooted in the left activism of his community organizer days in Chicago. Coming as he does from this left activism, Obama has never rejected the activist view, which causes him to see cops as an oppressive force in minority communities. This disregards the often frantic effort that's been put into diversifying and changing the behavior of major city police forces all the way from Baltimore to Berkeley over the last 2 generations. But as one of my good friends Larry Elder often says, facts to a liberal is like kryptonite to Superman. So once again, the nation's chastised by a liberal political leader about race. We've been there before. In 1997, then President Bill Clinton launched his One America initiative, essentially a president-sponsored initiative on race designed to heal racial and ethnic divisions. It was nothing more than exchange between the president's panel members, people who all thought exactly alike and were, to a man and a woman, left of center. Even more recently, Eric Holder, the nation's Attorney General, gave a speech during this year's Black History Month.
In things racial, we have always been, and we, I believe, continue to be, in too many ways, essentially a nation of cowards.
And said that America simply do not talk with each other about things racial. Well, you know, they don't, Mr. Attorney General, because when they do, ideological liberals like you want to lecture them on what the politically correct questions and answers are. Most good Americans have had it with dialogues about race and are, frankly speaking, busy living their lives, raising kids, paying bills, and trying to treat others the way they would like to be treated. The color of somebody's skin just doesn't register very high on their priority list of things important. But somehow we're supposed to welcome the claim from this president that an appropriate arrest of an arrogant, self-centered Black university professor is a teachable moment. Why? Well, he loudly screamed racism after being arrested because he acted like a damn fool. All of this dredges up concerns about the judgment of this president in ways that can no longer be ignored. If this is a teachable moment, maybe the lesson to be learned is how Barack Obama's judgment, his ability to lead, is dangerously impaired and led by his basic liberal political instincts. What do I mean? The president sold his stimulus package as something needing immediate attention. Otherwise, he said, the nation would fall off a fiscal cliff. Yet even though the nation's economy is showing some signs of recovery, many economists believe the spending package has had little to do with it.
Everyone guessed wrong at the time the estimate was made about what the state of the economy was at the moment this was passed.
That's bad judgment. Obama told us a government bailout was the only solution for the financial crisis at 2 of the nation's automakers, GM and Chrysler, something most auto experts and fiscal conservatives argued against. Ford, on the other hand, wisely resisted a government takeover and has recently posted a $2.9 billion profit, the result of smart management and good products. Again, Obama displayed poor judgment and his anti-capitalist instincts. And now, Obama is in a headlong rush to have his so-called health care reform bill passed. Something will be massively expensive, so much so that it's caused the Congressional Budget Office to literally gag. This nonpartisan office says Obama's plan will increase the federal deficit by $39 billion. Hardly the leadership we need, and another example of really bad judgment. Of course, the latest example of the president's poor judgment is his ability to turn a routine police incident into a national racial circus, complete with miscellaneous clowns and buffoons performing on cue. Fanning the flames of racial division is serious business. Despite the claim during his campaign that would be a post-racial president, he turns out to be quintessentially race-conscious. It is Obama's racial sensitivities that alert us to the fact that his call to make the Gates affair a teachable moment is really just a formula for yet another monologue. I'll take a pass on that, and I'll bet you will as well.